Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and I'm joined by my old mucker, the B in the bank, Bernard Dineen. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I've a couple of days off now after working bank holiday Monday. So, yeah, I'm okay. A couple of days off, then 3 days in, then another day off, then 1 day in, and then I'm off for 2 weeks.
I tell you what, Bernard, you're more in and out than the hokey cokey, aren't you? in out. And I bet you shit.
I'm gutted though. I actually plan. I'm in Greece. I'm in one of the Greek islands, and I'm going to miss the West Ham away game, which that's okay, no problem. I could have had a ticket last night, so I'm gutted that I could have gone. I could have actually had a ticket for it. Someone offered me one. So anyway, I'm not flying back from Greece a day early. So there you go.
Right. Well, we're here to review the game against Sheffield United, and we obviously we played on Sunday. This is a day after review. I'm not sure how many of these we can do throughout the season, but we're going to try the day after review show. And look, we'd already seen on Saturday, we'd already seen Man United cheat their way. Honestly, cheat their way, thanks to the referees, to another 3 points. We also saw one of our title rivals play on a Saturday, and West Ham got to top of the league by beating Brighton. Hey, West Ham title rivals. I tell you what, they're more title rivals than anybody else. Top of the table they were. We saw them. Then obviously we had our game, and when the team news came out, we did a preview on this. When the team news came out, did you ever expect to see Phil Foden on the bench?
Obviously poorly, mate. That's all I can say. He's obviously not well enough. Apparently he didn't travel with the team. Apparently he travelled separately.
Yeah.
So, but apparently, of course, on the basis that he did come on for the last 10 minutes, I assume he wasn't 100%, as in a bit ill.
Was he on the bench with the other lads? Did you notice that? Because I'm assuming possibly one of the reasons he didn't travel with anybody else is if he's got the trots, because basically he had gastroenteritis or something like that. There's a risk that he could pass it on to somebody else. But
I didn't see him isolated in the stand.
Also, it could be that a decision was made so late to include Phil that the team had already gone or whatever. They were leaving it till last minute. So because the team lacked, did they get together on the day or the day before and have a sleep?
Yeah, they must all drive to the CFA, mustn't they? Park up and then they obviously get transport across.
Yeah. So it was interesting when the team news came out because there was a lot of obviously Phil wasn't included. There's a lot of consternation, frustration, and a little bit of anger directed towards Pep for not picking Phil Foden, who was comfortably the man of the match. He was our creativity in the previous game against Newcastle.
So I think that, as I say, it had to be the fact he wasn't 100%. Simple as that. I don't think there's no way on earth with a week between games, between this game and the next one. There's no way on earth Foden would have started that game.
Come on, man, it's Pep. Pep can do anything. But I did a team.
Lilo overruled him. Old Lilo said, "I'm not playing him, Pep." No, he made a stand.
But I did say on my team news show that look, until we get more information, we don't know if Foden has a niggle. We don't know whether he's fallen out with Pep in the last week, whether Jack Grealish has got some dodgy pictures of Pep. I don't know what it is because there's no way in a month of Sundays that I was thinking, man, Pep must love Grealish. Grealish must be doing everything Pep wants if he's picking Grealish over Foden. And obviously, we found out Foden had the trots. So he had a dicky tummy. So yeah, it's fair enough. Without going into details on each little incident, I'm just going
to have to wear the girls. Like the women have to wear coloured shorts. Perhaps Phil, I didn't notice he'd have a pair of coloured shorts on just in case.
Phil was wearing brown shorts. I didn't notice. Well, he could have done what Gary Lineker did on the pitch. If I don't, please. Don't go and watch that
don't
video.
Remind me of that.
Gary Lineker really did do it a number 2 on the pitch. Oh dear me. Let's move, swiftly move on from one shit to another shit. Erling Haaland. Okay, I'm gonna focus on him to start with. Erling Haaland. Okay, we'd rather than look at everything. We'll look at certain players and see how they did and how the game went. overall. But I'm going to start with Erling Haaland. Look, he missed that penalty. He went through a stage where, was it for 20 minutes, he didn't touch the ball. I'll hold my hand up and stick my head above the parapet, and I've criticised him. And other people say, how dare you? How dare anybody? Erling Haaland scored 38 goals in 36 games last year, whatever. How dare anybody criticise him? But you said it yourself at the end of last season. He scored something like 1 goal in, 7, 8, 9 games? Okay. He started the season. Yeah, he got 2 good goals against Burnley. He missed, in my opinion, probably at least 5 opportunities against Newcastle. 3 when he was shooting against the keeper, and 2 when he couldn't take it in his stride. And I said, you can't keep missing chances because it will come back. It'll come back to haunt you. It'll come back to bite you in the backside. And I said it on. I watched a little bit of the game on my phone on Sunday because I was out in Burnley at the Canal Festival working there. I managed to watch a little bit of the game, and I said you cannot keep missing opportunities. You've got to be more clinical, because when you're leaving a team in the game, you're leaving them in the game. They just need one chance. And that's how they go. So, look, Erling Haaland did score after that, but how would you sum up his last dozen games for City?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, we got him for moments like this, didn't we? We got him for moments. All right, I can expect. I don't think he hardly touched the ball before that penalty, did he? I can't remember it anyway. You've probably seen bits and pieces, but he didn't do much before. I'm sure he did things because obviously he had to cope with those nutters at the back at Sheffield United, and the manager said they were going to be physical. But we've got big lads. We're not worried about teams playing physically. Yeah. We've got big lads of our own now. We don't really worry about that. We haven't got little David Silvas running around all over the pitch. We've got big guys who are talented. And Haaland is a big guy who's talented. And these moments when you're struggling, and we did, let's face it, we started as we do sometimes in the first half, tippy-tappy, no pace anywhere over the pitch, not much creativity.
We pass it around too slowly.
Yeah, when you get an opportunity, this is what we bought Haaland for, isn't it? 35 minutes, we get a penalty, justified penalty. I mean, the VAR is not going to overrule that. The referee's made a decision, and it's as simple as that. And we did buy him for them moments, and he took his time, did everything right, but obviously he's now got an 80% success rate on penalties for us. So it was 89%, wasn't it, before this one? Now he's missed 2. But what a crucial time, what a time to miss, because all that does is lift them. That lifts their players, that lifts their supporters. All right, Haaland, it was, and 2 inches away from being a perfect penalty, perhaps, but that 2 inches,
2 inches
makes a big difference, doesn't it?
As we know.
But what annoyed me about Haaland was after that, when we still commanded the game, even though it raised them a little bit. And what I can't understand, I can't for the life. I know it's easy to hold players and mess with players and do things physically, but there's 2 or 3 times where he could have won penalty. He could have won another penalty for us, but because he was holding in the first place, so why does he need to? Why does a striker in the opponent's box need to foul first? Just be physical, let them foul you. And that's what disappointed me with Haaland, his lack of, perhaps, he's only young. He's not old, is he? He's 22. Perhaps he'll learn. But that worried me more about Haaland, the fact that he missed the penalty, the fact that once Sheffield United were rattled at the back, defenders were holding him, but you could see him holding them as well. And I know it's not easy. Sometimes it's almost holding you. You automatically grab them as well. But, but I think he's got to show a bit more nous. That's what I want from Erling. But a great goal in the second half. Yeah. When he had the opportunity, he did. And, obviously we'll talk about Grealish probably. But, no, that's what disappoints with Erling. But it's experience. Again, we forget he's only young. As a centre forward, he is young. And as I say, disappointed with the penalty, disappointed with his general play in the first half. Of course, he's taking people out of the game, as I think people were defending him on the City on the City thing, weren't they? Keith Curl was defending him, and Sean Goater, I think, stuff like that. And the Bounty, they're in the Players' Union, aren't they? But he could have done better. But at least he did it in the end, and he got 1. All right, he could have had 2 or 3. But
I'll say if those players, let's be honest, okay, if those players slag off Erling Haaland, do you think they'll be invited on again? But that's the truth.
There was probably 4 or 5 City players scoring 4 or 5 out of 10 on Saturday. until key moments where they did something right to boost their scores. Haaland was one of them. Haaland was pulling a 4 out of 10. Then all of a sudden he gets a great header and we're leading the game.
But my point is, you get too many people blowing smoke up the backsides of others. You know, who's going to argue with Pep? Who's going to question Pep?
Because he knows it. Haaland knows it as well. He can see by his body language. He knows it's not good enough. So I like that. I like the fact he knows it's not good enough.
Yeah, as I've said many times, I'll tell you who didn't toe the party line, and then you never saw him again. Buzzer.
Oh yeah,
Mike Selby, when he went on Sky, he ripped it into them. They didn't like it. He didn't go around kissing backside. He was never on again. That's why I said
it was right as well, wasn't it? It was right what he said at the time.
But they couldn't take that because that wasn't the narrative. You know, and bigger institutions, even like Manchester City, they want people to speak the narrative. Oh, I was unlucky. I played rubbish. You know, the thing. My gripe is, it's good and bad. I mean, we talk too much about Haaland here, but we've only got about 5 minutes left. But my gripe is, okay, he's missing too many chances. Far too many chances. You get him 5 chances, mate, that game against. Even if you forget the 2 that he should have taken in his stride and he didn't control the ball, the 3 shots he had, you've got to be scoring minimum 1 or 2 of those. Okay.
I think there's one cracking save. I think that little dink in the second half, I thought he did everything right. It was just the keeper did very, very well.
But my point is, somebody else might not get those chances because they might not make the runs and the moves that he does. So I think he's getting those opportunities sometimes because of his movement. But somebody else who has, you know, and you were with me on this, we lambasted Grealish for 3 missed chances against Leeds last year. No one wants to lambast Haaland and say, oh, look at all the good he does. But look, in some of the big games, he ain't doing it. So that's a frustration. And
when we win, it's fine. When we lose or draw a game like that, it will be different. People will be reacting differently.
Yeah. The 2 of the people I want to talk about briefly, Grealish. Look, people are again blowing smoke up his backside and said, "Hey, he made that cross, he got the assist." That's all that matters.
He was another one pulling a 4 out of 10 until that. I mean, the thing is, every single time he went back to his right, didn't he, and played it back. He didn't lose it. He won 3 kicks. Great. But the only time he took the defender on, we scored a goal. So please, Jack, do more of that.
I want us to play quicker. I watched Brighton play, okay, against West Ham on Saturday. And even though they lost, they reminded us of City. Watching them reminded us of us. But they were more, in my opinion, entertaining because they moved that ball quicker. And that's the big difference between Brighton and us. They move the ball quicker. Funny thing is, when we move the ball quickly, we can rip through teams. We absolutely tear them to pieces because they cannot cope with that movement. And if we're passing that ball quickly, people quickly, you know, they can't set themselves a defense. And I just wish we would have more impetus, more urgency sooner in games. I've got to mention him. I mean, he came on after, was it 86, 87 minutes when we needed something to happen? Did Phil Foden deliver more creativity in the time he was on the pitch, in the 10 or 12 minutes he was on the pitch, than everybody else in the whole game put together? He was awesome.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he totally turned he looked totally different. All right, he came on when Sheffield United were probably a bit more tired, or they made a few substitutions, but they were forward substitutions. They weren't defensive substitutions. Yeah. So, you know, but no, he looked the difference, and he was the difference. And obviously, Mr. Walker, who'd obviously was a little bit upset. He was all of a sudden as though someone had kicked him up. Obviously, he kicked himself up the bum, didn't he, for that bad error he made. And he was the difference as well. But that's what, you know, Walker, I mean, no time to go into Walker today, but obviously I remember that 40
I want to be positive, man. Today,
he had a 40-yard effort in the first half. I thought, what the hell are you doing? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But as I said, he needed that error to kick him into action.
Yeah. I think if we focus on lots of things, we'd be here for half an hour. Today, for Walker, I'm not saying anything. I've been a happy clapper for Walker. I'm just going to say, you ballsed up, you saved yourself. But you shouldn't have had to save yourself.
Well, even Rodri. He had 4 shots that didn't even worry the goal. You know, the goalkeeper just waved at him as he passed him. And then he had one cracking one, and that saved him as well.
Oh, Bernard. That's I like it.
Well,
It's
he did.
fire
He
in
did
your
say
belly.
he was on a 4. He was on a 4 out of 10. He made errors in the middle of the pitch. He
Yeah,
lost the ball twice. I remember to their players in the middle of the pitch. He was rubbish. But hey, you know, when you come away with a winner like that, fantastic. But it doesn't discount the other 99 minutes of the 100 minutes that was played.
Briefly, got to say, we're top of the table, 100% record. Pep wasn't there. Very happy. I said before the game, all that matters is winning the game, getting through it. Great
all credit. I'd sort of when they equalised Sheffield, I went, oh, for God's sake, that's it, 1-1. So all credit to him for you know. For
Let's be positive because people are saying we're miserable and all negative. Let's be positive. Kyle Walker saved himself, and that's great.
Rodri saved himself. Haaland saved himself. Grealish saved himself. There's about 5 or 6 players on that pitch who would have pulled 4 and 5 out of 10s in the Manchester Evening News ratings and my ratings.
But Foden did the business. 10 minutes is all it needed. 10 minutes. And I said before the game, in fact, I did a video the day before. I was talking about Matheus Nunes on Saturday. I recorded a video. I said, if you can, get Foden in your fantasy Premier League team. 7.5 million bargain. He's going up.
A great assist, wasn't it? I mean, he knew what he was doing.
Less said about that, the better. But he was there. He created havoc. He caused trouble. That's a bit of a short one today, but thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Thanks a lot, Bernard, for your contribution as ever. And guys, if you are new to the channel, please keep on subscribing. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Hit that bell icon so you know as soon as new videos come out. We'll see you around, Blues.